Hello and welcome to another session in English language, and today we'll focus on first register on judiciary, and then we'll look at writing informal letters, and lastly articles. But before all of that, let us review the previous lesson. Welcome back. So we begin with register on the judiciary. The judiciary is the organ of government that interprets the law, that adjudicates the law. Okay, it's an organ of government, or what we say, arm of government. Okay, and their primary responsibility is adjudicating the law, interpreting the law, punishing offenders too. Okay, so let's get into the lesson proper. These words are associated with the judiciary. So when they say they are taking action in the judiciary, it simply means you are filing a case or a lawsuit against someone. Okay, and the only reason why you do that is because the person has done wrong to you. So you are filing a case or a lawsuit against the person. You are taking legal action. Then we have what we call adjournment. Adjournment means to postpone a court session till a later date. Okay, or time. Till a later date or time. Okay, then we have what is called affidavit. Affidavit is a written statement under oath to attest to the genuinity of a particular document. A written statement under oath attesting to the genuinity of a document. So for instance, maybe you don't have a birth certificate, you can go to a court, okay, and swear an affidavit that the declaration of your age is actually authentic. Okay, then we have what is called bail. Bail is simply a temporary release of a defendant, somebody who has been sued, or a legal suit, a lawsuit has been filed against the person. The person can always be granted bail, okay, to ensure that the person is released temporarily and can return to the court while the sessions are ongoing. Then we have what you call a case. A case is a lawsuit or action in a court. Okay, then we have the charge. You say you charge somebody, it means you are making a formal accusation of a crime. Then conviction means to be found guilty of committing a crime. So when you say this person is a convict or has been convicted, it means the person has been found guilty as charged. Then we have who you call the court clerk. The court clerk is someone or a person who maintains the official protocols in the court. Okay, the person who maintains the official protocols in a court during its session is known as what? A court clerk. You hear somebody says order, that's the court clerk. Okay, he or she receives all the court papers and hearing dates. So there are protocols to be observed in a court room or during a court session. Then we also have custody. When in the judiciary, when they say somebody is held custody, it actually means that the person is confined to a particular place. Okay, the person is confined to a particular place that is not accessible to all except by court order. Okay, so for instance, if parents get separated, either of the parents could be granted custody of the child. The other parents can only come visiting, cannot have access to the child except by court order. Then we have what? Damages. Damages is the money a third party pays as compensation for a legal wrong done to you. Then we have evidence. Evidence also refers to testimony, documents, or objects that are presented during a trial to prove a fact. So the essence of presenting the testimony, document, or object is to prove a fact. Alright? Then we have the judge. The judge is the person who hears and decides cases in the court. Okay, then a judgment is a court decision. Then mediation simply means a dispute resolution process, okay, whereby a third party comes in between the conflicting parties. Okay, so then we have what we call an oath. An oath simply means to swear or to affirm to a statement of truth. You see them in cases where they lift up their right hand and say, I, then you mention your name, hereby declare that everything I say today is the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Alright, so then we have what we call petition, which is a formal written request to a court, which starts a special proceeding. So I can write a petition that the court should give an injunction inviting an individual to court. Then we could have a plaintiff. A plaintiff is somebody who sues or starts a civil case. Then we have prosecute. To prosecute means to carry on a case or judicial proceedings against an individual who happens to have committed a crime. Then we have restraining order. I told you restraining order simply is an order given by a civil court that restrain or protect a particular family member from physical abuse or what you call domestic violence. So every time there's something like that, the court gives what you call restraining order. So we have a subpoena and we have a summons. A subpoena is a command to appear in court to testify as a witness. So every time the court issues a subpoena, what the court demands is that a witness actually appears in court to testify. Okay? While a summons is a legal paper that is issued to start a civil case in order to invite and get jurisdiction over a party. So with all of that, I believe you've learned something on the judiciary. So we move on to another aspect, which is essay writing. And under that, we are focusing on informal letters. But before that, let's recap a bit that we have three types of letter writing. We have formal letters, semi-formal letters, and informal letters. And so today our focus is on informal letters. Don't forget, informal letters are classified into three categories. The one you write to your contemporaries, people of the same age group. Okay, your classmates, your colleagues, your friends, your relatives, either your nephew, your nieces, your cousins. Okay, that is letter written to your contemporaries. We also have your informal letter as a letter written to your older relatives, like your father, your mother, your uncle, your aunt. Okay, so they are also your older relatives. Then lastly, letter written to close pen pals. So these are the categories of informal letter. So what are the features of an informal letter? Don't forget, I told you the language is informal. Like the name states, the language is informal. So it must be chatty. Okay, you are free or you are at liberty to use familiar words or slangs. Okay, you should not be too formal in your conversation. Okay, then also use contracted form of words. Okay, it's permitted. You can abbreviate. You can use contracted forms of words. Okay, then also in the first paragraph, ensure you inquire about the welfare of the recipient of your letter. Okay, then tell him about your own welfare. Then bring up a subject matter of interest between both of you, but please keep the main topic in mind. Then in the concluding paragraph, extend greetings to people known to both of you. So of the three types of letters, informal letters are easiest to write, as there are no limitations to choice of words or the style of language to use. Okay, so provided you don't veer off the topic. So let's look at the format of an informal letter. So we have the address of the writer written at the top right corner. The address of the writer written at the top right corner, and there are two styles for writing that. You can write that in the block T format or what you call the slanting format, okay, depending on your choice. Then also your date should be written on the line immediately following your last line of the address. So please avoid abbreviations of the months of the year, especially months like January, December, September. Please write them in full. Okay, then a comma must come after the month and a full stop after the year. Then you have your salutation, dear. Then please do not use dear friend, dear Toby, dear Emeka, dear Chinyere. Okay, so start writing your salutation from the margin on the left hand side of the sheet. Then we have the introductory paragraph. So start that, like you know, with the exchange of pleasantries. With the exchange of pleasantries. Then delve into what you call the body of the letter, where you discuss fully at length while you are writing to the person. Okay, like I said, the only time you are not permitted to use slangs is when you are writing to an older relative, like your father and your mother and your uncle. Then in the conclusion, you send greetings to people known to both of you. Then your closing subscript or your complimentary close, okay, is yours affectionately, yours sincerely, your loving son or daughter, whichever one you want to use. Okay, then you write your first name or your nickname as the case implies. So only your friends. Please, the only time you use nicknames is to only your friends. Then put a full stop at the end of your name. So with that, I believe when you attempt questions on informal letters, you would actually see that it's one of the easiest letters to write. So let's move on to definite and indefinite articles. Now, indefinite articles, we have two of them. We have article a and an. We use article a before a word starting with a consonant sound. I didn't say starting with a consonant letter, starting with a consonant sound. Boy, b. Goat, g. House, h. Hoe. Okay, now, and you use article an before words that begin with a vowel sound. An elephant, an aeroplane. Okay, so please don't judge words based on their letters, judge them based on sounds. For instance, Europe, right? Europe is, though is written as EUROPE, but in the transcription you begin with a consonant J. Alright, so it's Europe. Okay, so that's why you say a European man. The same thing with what? University, a university. Okay, but it's not the same. Okay, every time like that. Alright, so let's move on. So the same thing goes with article an, vowel sounds, an egg, an apple, an orange. But we could also have situations where the consonant letter is silent. For instance, in the word hour, H-O-U-R, H-O-U-R. So you say I came here an hour ago. You can't say I came here an hour ago. That's wrong. It's grammatically wrong. Say I came here an hour ago. He is an honest man. Mr. James is an honest, you can say Mr. James is a honest man, is an honest man. It is an honor to meet your parents. Not it is a honor, it is an honor. Okay, but the same does not apply for home or house. Alright, then we have article the. It's used to specify. So indefinite articles, we don't refer to, we don't do specifics. A boy, which boy? A girl, which girl? An egg, which egg? An apple. So we are not definite, we are not specific. But in definite articles, we are referring to a particular person or things. And we do that with article the. So what are the uses of article the? One, when there is only one of the things being referred to. For instance, the sun, there is no other sun. So I'll say the sun is shining. I can't say a sun is shining because there is only one sun. The moon, there's just one moon. The wind, there's just wind. There's no other type of wind. Then the rainfall. So you can see I'm being specific or particular. When you can also use article the when you and the person reading knows the particular thing that is being discussed. Give me the bag under the bed. So there is a bag under the bed. So give me the bag, and the person in question or reading knows the bag you are talking about. So that's why you say give me the bag under the bed. Okay? Then also we could have the generic use. Okay? So the banana. Okay, when you are referring to what is normal or a typical member of a class. The tiger. Okay? The Soviet Union. Or when you use it for descriptive use. The accused. She has the courage of Esther. So with this, we've come to the end of our lesson today. Thank you very much for joining this lesson. In order to refresh your memory and recall all that has been taught in this lesson, I would encourage that you take the test that appears on your screen.